Her record label was created to make music that would, quote, blow your ears into the next dimension.
Oh my God. I really thought you were going to say blow your tits off. I really wish that's what you would have said. Okay, blow your ears into the next dimension. Yeah.
That's so fucked up presents. That's so fucked up presents. That's so fucked up presents. That's so fucked up presents.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to That's So Fucked Up presents a spin-off series of That's So Fucked Up, a respectful comedy podcast about cults, crime, and other things that make you say, ugh, that's so fucked up. And in That's So Fucked Up presents, every month, generally for the most part, sometimes it's like a 6-week thing, but for the most part, every month we have a topic that we go through. Sometimes it's one long story that's detailed over 4 episodes, although that's a little bit more rare. Generally, we have a theme where we do 4 different episodes. This season is called Sinister Sects. Hope that y'all have been listening. It's been a really good season. So far, we've talked about Project Modern Day Night with Alicia from Twisted and Uncorked. We've also talked about Shen Yun with Caitlin from Pacific Northwest Haunts and Homicides, and Lindsay from Ye Old Crime. And today, we are going to be talking about Kundalini Yoga, which is, y'all, it's fucked up. And we are joined by my friend and fellow podcaster whose skills and tenacity I admire greatly, Trevin. Hi, Trevin.
Hey, thanks for the kind words about the tenacity and all that.
Yeah. Dude, me and you, not to say that other people are not, but we're out here hustling hard, trying to make this a career.
Yeah.
So you guys, patreon.com. Can they find you on Patreon? What's your fucking show?
I'm with the show Live, Laugh, Larceny, and we do not have the Patreon set up yet, but we are very close to having all of the ads out of our original recordings so that I can put them in, and so we can do the ad-free thing, and we should be able to jump on that pretty soon.
Okay, so you guys, I've literally been telling Trevin for like a year or 2 that I will help him set up a Patreon. But that's awesome, Trevin. Yay. I'm glad. You deserve that support. You guys, indie podcasters fucking thrive on your support, whether that's recommending us to your friends and family, leaving us a review is super awesome. If you can't on your platform like Spotify, get your shit together. Ratings are always amazing. And patreon.com/TSFU if you would like to support us. And I actually don't know why I'm saying that because Trevin, this is our first ever Patreon exclusive episode of That's So Fucked Up presents.
Oh,
so
yeah.
This is our, I want to say 17th season of That's So Fucked Up presents, which blows my mind. I feel like it was just a twinkle in my eye just yesterday.
Oh, man. Speaking of eyes, can I just say your eyes are so twinkly? Like your hair brings out your eyes so much since you've changed it.
Thank you. You guys, I got bangs. Well, you probably see that on the cover. Actually, Apple hasn't updated it yet. They're being annoying.
You might need to send them an email. I had to do it twice.
Hopefully I have fixed that by the time this comes out, but knowing me, there's a good chance I haven't. Anyways, you guys, it's pretty cool. Trevin, tell them a little bit more about Live, Laugh, Larceny and where they can listen and stuff.
So we are Live, Laugh, Larceny, a true petty crime podcast. It's me and one of my best friends, Amanda. Okay, so it's a variety comedy show where we do millennial dreadful dilemmas. We tell some funny facts or some true facts, killer facts, and then we each present a petty story to each other where we take either dumb criminal stories or just like petty acts of revenge, and we construct them into short stories that we tell to each other, and then we discuss them afterwards. And we discuss them in a way that you would almost like a Naked Gun sort of way. It's overly dramatic. We want to take things that aren't serious, but treat them the same way that true crime podcasts would treat a murder. But it would be something like stealing somebody's cell phone. Or one example I like to use a lot is I did a story about a girl who got called for a booty call. She showed up to the guy's house and he fell asleep, didn't answer the door. So she went to the gas station and got gasoline and a lighter, came back and lit his house on fire right after texting him and saying that she was going to do it. So,
wow.
Yeah, so she was easily caught. But we took that story, made it very dramatic. And a lot of our stories have morals. So that one was all about
not burning people's houses down, just giving them a little grace if they fall asleep. Maybe.
That's our twist in it. But yeah, it was mostly just about, having those lonely nights and getting those booty calls and stuff like that. Putting yourselves in the shoes of the criminal and trying to understand what they went through a little bit.
Yeah, why? And I don't know why you're not mentioning this, because I think it's one of the best parts, is you do amazing sound design. So when you tell these stories, it's like, and they were walking up to the house, crunch, 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 like leaves on the ground and shit. You guys, I don't like editing audio. I'm not a fan, but Trevin is a fan, and you can tell in his work because it's very fucking well produced. And I always really appreciate a well produced indie podcast.
I do too. Anytime I find other people doing it, it always brightens my day too. But for the first, oh my gosh, I think it was about the first 100 episodes. I think all of the songs in the background were all originally written and recorded by me. Jesus. Then I was kind of getting tired of my own songs. So now I use royalty-free stuff, but it gives me a lot more to work with because now I'm starting to do, my stories are starting to feel like mini movies where the music can change with the tone and everything too, instead of just using my background music. So it's really evolved a lot.
I love that. You guys listen to the amount of creativity this man puts into the podcast. Also, Amanda is a fucking treasure. She's just got kids and a whole lot of shit going on, right? So it's just usually me and you, Trevin, but I'm very happy with that. Yeah, you talk about millennial problems or whatever. Recently on an episode, you said something crazy.
Uh-oh.
Trevin was like, I just feel like I look really good in the Target checkout camera.
Oh, yeah.
And Amanda was like, you're insane. And I promptly was like, yeah, agreed. And then I sent Trevin a picture of me in the Target checkout line.
Yeah, you did.
Was it good?
It was not a better version of you, I didn't think.
It wasn't. You guys, shout us out if you find that you look good in checkout cameras, because that's a no for me.
It's a gritty filter, and anytime you look, it's almost like a filter, and then you look at it and you see the security stuff and you think, oh, if I'm looking at this, that means a bad boy must be on this screen. So then I kind of feel like I'm a bad boy who's got a gritty filter look to him. I'm usually wearing a hoodie because I'm at Walmart and just trying to get the hell out. So I feel like
edgy.
I blend in with it, and it looks good on me, I think.
I feel like the filter that they use at my local Target ages me by 20 years and makes me look super tired. So I hope that it's incorrect. I think it is.
I think it's incorrect.
Anyways, I don't think I said, but y'all would know. Obviously, that's Trevin, and I'm Ashley Love Richards, your host. Yeah, so 17 seasons. 16. This is 17. I'm 90% sure about that. That's So Fucked Up presents. And oh man, it has been such a cool ride. But we're starting a monthly mental health segment where we're going to be interviewing mental health experts and creatives and just positive shit, Trevin, because all I do all the time is focus on the world's worst. And I'm just like, you know what? I know that a lot of my listeners can relate to, mental health struggles and stuff. So I'm like, let's get positive.
Let's get unfucked up.
Yeah. That's so not fucked up. Cool. So, I just feel like there's a lot of content on the feed already. And like I was saying, us indie creators really thrive on y'all's support. Not gonna lie, hoping this presents segment brings you guys to the yard.
Like my milkshake.
Yeah, because it's as good as a milkshake, I think.
Well, I don't know much about it, so I hope we'll see at the end if I feel like it's as good as a milkshake. Because that's saying a lot.
I love a milkshake. So We're talking about kundalini yoga today. Have you heard of this?
No, but it sounds like a pasta.
Kundalini.
Yeah.
Fettuccine. Yeah. Okay. I can feel that. Unfortunately, pasta is cool and delicious, and this is hot garbage that sucks.
Oh.
So there's a big difference between the kundalini yoga and the potential kundalini pasta. So let's just get into it because we got a lot to say.
I'm ready.
Kundalini yoga was introduced to the Western world by Yogi-Bhajan. It's a practice that brings together repetitive physical postures, intense breathing work, and repetition of sacred mantras. It's supposed to awaken our kundalini shakti, or serpent power, which is supposed to be a latent energy within all of us that's waiting to be fucking unleashed so that we can grow spiritually and transform. You into it?
My long dormant serpent power.
Yeah.
I've been waiting to unleash it, but I think I would probably get canceled.
Haven't we all? Considering they both have been pretty canceled.
Oh.
I would say, don't unleash the Kundalini serpent because it's a douche.
Okay.
It's supposed to increase vitality and resilience, and maybe it does, but it does not increase calmness or self-awareness.
Oh, no.
At least in the leaders. I don't want to say in the practitioners because, reminder that in cults, the leaders are the perpetrators and the followers are the victims. Just always like to remind people of that. So this is a story about Yogi-Bhajan and guru-jagat, who will get to being hot pieces of garbage. And other things that came with Yogi-Bhajan's version of Kundalini, because guru-jagat switched it up a little bit later. Who doesn't love a rebrand? But they would wear turbans and all white, which people often would mistake them for being Sikhs. But Sikhs don't wear all white. They do wear head turbans, but it's Kundalini yoga practitioners that wear all white and the head turbans. So that was their vibe back then. Although I think when guru-jagat came around, which just so you're not like, who the fuck is that? She took over later. She was like a fucking hipster in her 20s.
Oh, so it was that
wild.
kind of reboot.
Dude, it's cuckoo. I can't wait to tell you about it. So with a lot of emphasis on breathing and inward focus and mantra, it becomes more meditative in nature. I actually heard a guy in a documentary that I was watching call it Get High Yoga. He said, if you raise your arms for 3 minutes straight and do deep, heavy breathing exercises, you're going to kind of get stoned.
Oh, yeah.
And then also Yogi-Bhajan used neuro-linguistic programming, which is like a sort of hypnosis. And it can apparently be used for good, but hypnosis can also be used for nefarious purposes. And I would say if you looked back at people like Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh, which it blows my mind that this guy doesn't get brought up as much as him, because do you know who that is, Osho?
The name's very familiar.
He had the cult in Oregon and took over the town, Wild Wild Country, Netflix.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I didn't watch it.
Whatever, Trevin. Also, the cult documentaries are my life, so
yeah. So that one's called Wild Wild Country?
Yeah, and it came out years ago, but it's 6 parts, and I swear I've watched it half a dozen times because it's fascinating. Although I will say, I also did a 2-part episode with Caitlin from PNW Hunts and Homicides.
Oh, love her.
She's so sweet. About Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh, who later rebranded to Osho. Cult lovers, particularly the, yoga gurus, they love a rebrand. His story is so well known and the documentary is so well done, but he sexually abused a fuck ton of women, and a lot of children were sexually abused in the compound as well. And that really got skipped over in the documentary.
Oh, I hate that. I hate when you know something and you're just like, well, this will make the documentary more interesting. And then they don't even really bring it in. And it's like, why did you do this?
I'm guessing you haven't watched Quiet on Set.
I watched it.
Oh, you have?
I actually did watch that one.
Okay. So how much do you feel for Drake, right?
Oh, yeah. I feel a lot on that one.
Right. So I also really feel for Drake. What he went through was Drake Bell, I guess we should say, because Drake is the singer.
Yeah, not the singer.
But
well, he's a singer too.
That's right. He has a band. So what the documentary did a super good job of glossing over, because I was like, Team Drake Bell. I was debating this with my co-host Fallon. I was like, he's disgusting though. And she was like, well, I think you can still feel for what happened to him as a child. And, glad that he's coming forward with his story to expose this. But he groomed a 12-year-old and then sexually assaulted her when she was 15.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it almost makes you wonder if that was part of the thing that got him to come on to do the documentary. It's just like, well, I'll help tell this story for you, but I want to try to clear my name a little bit with that too. I don't know.
But
that's just a thought.
You know what would have cleared his name to me is if he gave a heartfelt fucking apology to that victim in the documentary, because I read the court statement and he said, I am sorry that I caused harm to the victim, but I obviously didn't intend any harm. And I was like, oh, wow. So you're doing to her what was done to you.
Ew, don't put obviously in there. Gross.
I feel like if he was going to paint himself as a victim, which he absolutely fucking was, I just feel it was irresponsible to gloss over the fact. Also, because maybe that could have been a discussion about the fact that sometimes the product of grooming and abuse is that hurt people go on to hurt people. It just really disappointed me.
That would have been a great thing to have leaned into and explained more.
Yeah, I just was like,
Because it did feel really weird because they said that and then it really did seem like yada yada, and they just like got away from it real quick. And I thought, wait a minute, I feel conflicted. But like the music and everything focused on the other issue. So then I'm like, well, obviously, because like you and I always talk about this when we do this documentary thing, is you can feel the story they're trying to tell with the music and the editing, and there's a story they're trying to tell. So you could just tell that was not in it, and just to even mention it just kind of put a weird bump in the road for me, that from that point on, it gave me conflicting feelings, but I feel like maybe somebody who doesn't read into it too deeply and just went with the flow and the music and, just kind of followed the emotions of the documentary might have glossed over it too, like it wasn't anything. And I haven't done the research on it, but I wanted to after watching that, because I thought, when you don't say anything, it alludes to something bigger. And it's like, just the wording really just put a huge question mark in my head.
Yeah, I was just imagining how his victim must feel watching him getting so much sympathy in the media for what he went through. And she's sitting there like, yeah, he did that to me. It just, obviously, it was a well-produced documentary. I think it told a lot of things that needed to be exposed, but also ID has an amazing job of really painting a story that they choose to paint. So whenever I do watch ID documentaries, I do some extra research because I'm like, what are you fuckers leaving out?
Yeah. When I saw that was coming out, I was actually like on the fence about watching it, but I was like, I really want to watch and learn about this, but I was really kind of disappointed that it was ID. I was like, I wish it was like Netflix or HBO or something.
I want to boycott them, but then they keep covering things that I'm interested. Damn it. Anyways, that's besides the point. We're talking about Yogi Bhajan. Although big similarity between Quiet on Set, the Nickelodeon documentary, and Yogi Bhajan is a lot of abuse of women and children. Man, those are just cult hallmarks. And I'm not saying Nickelodeon is a cult, but I could almost argue that the way there's this like Hollywood secrecy of like fucking kids, I would almost argue, it checks off some of the cult boxes.
Well, I mean, even not even that far into it, but just like the way Hollywood works and people like, working for free, and it is very cult-like in the way that somebody with their power dynamics in the city and everything. It's
totally.
Yeah. Even without talking about the children's stuff, just the power dynamics is very culty.
Yeah. So here we go, you guys. Again, first Patreon exclusive TSFU Presents episode. So super glad you guys are here and hope you like it, because we're really going, I swear. I'm telling this fucking story. Also, Trevin, one of my first merch items that I ever made said it's not just yoga, you guys, because I kept covering these fucking cult leaders that were like yoga gurus who were actually giant fucking cult leaders. And I remembered I've taken a couple of these classes.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Like 9 years ago, very early in sobriety, I knew a kid that I went to rehab with who got super into this and joined this cult. And then I went to a couple classes. And I swear to God, I am so lucky because I was interested, but it's pretty physically demanding. You know, it's a lot of heavy breathing and shit.
Ugh,
and
yeah.
I'm lazy. So I was like, being broke and or lazy has probably stopped me from being in so many fucking cults.
That's a good silver lining for sure.
It's worked out for me in that sense. Okay, so Kundalini yoga has been going on for, I don't know, 60 years, something.
Okay, I was expecting longer, actually.
Well, about like 1970, 68. So 60, 40, 55. So that's, yeah, so it's been going on for like 55 years.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the abuse and fucked upness was only exposed in 2020. So very recently. In 2020, a former employee of his who was also a victim, I guess, can you be somebody's lover and their victim?
I would say.
Okay. And also one of his lovers, as he had many. She published a book called Premka, White Bird in a Golden Cage, My Life with Yogi-Bhajan. And it had accusations of sexual battery, rape, fraud, and child molestation. So trigger warning on this episode, you guys. This dude is a douche, and we're going to go a little further into that. So he's got the classic cult leader characteristics going on. He didn't give a shit about divinity and whatnot. He wanted power, money, and sex. His saying was obey, serve, love, excel.
Wow, the excel surprises me.
Well, I think it's through the serving and obeying that you learn to love and then you excel.
Because he excels you.
Yeah.
Okay.
With your serving and obeying of him.
Okay.
Have you ever had yogi tea? Delicious.
I'm sure I have. I went through a tea kick, but I can't remember what brands I drank.
Yogi tea lemon ginger used to be a staple in my house. You know what? This fuck owned that company. He started it.
Whoa.
He is a con man, a shrewd businessman, and he was highly connected in politics and religion. It's wild.
Are they one of the packages where like on the back it tells like his story? I feel like a lot of those do that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Ugh.
He was, known and respected by people such as the Pope and the Dalai Lama and multiple presidents such as Clinton, because I saw him with Clinton in a clip. But I know he was buddy-buddy with other ones too. So let's talk a little bit more about how this guy came around. In 1968, Harbhajan Singh Puri, a 39-year-old Punjabi Sikh, and former customs officer at New Delhi's airport, arrived in the U.S. from India. When he was a customs officer, he met a Canadian who was looking for a yoga teacher to hire for like a fucking center he was opening or something.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, my theory is that the Beatles led to the yoga cults in America because they were the first Western people to go to India and be like, holy shit, you get enlightened there. Oh, blah, 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 we have a guru. And then everybody else started going. So I think
they made it very trendy.
Love the Beatles, but I blame them too. Blame the Beatles, you guys, if you're in a yoga cult.
Is that your next bit of merch? Blame the Beatles?
Blame the Beatles. Ooh, that's good. That's good. So he was offered a job and went to work in Canada in 1968. Soon after was in LA starting his fucking bullshit. He told people that he was a revered holy man back in India and that he's part of an ancient lineage of Kundalini yoga masters, except for Kundalini is some fucking bullshit mishmash that he fucking made up. So I call horseshit.
Do they break down what the name might mean? or anything? Or like how he may have
I
came
feel
up
like
with
he
it?
probably just made it up and was like, that means serpent power. I feel like that sounds pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Also, he had a thing with like drawing dicks.
Don't we all?
Don't we all? He was like fucking Jonah Hill, who's terrible, by the way, you guys. But when he was funny and super bad, he was like the kid drawing dicks. This motherfucker's drawing dicks and balls all the time. I saw a picture where he drew a dick and inside of it, there was a lady. And then next to it, he wrote power. And I was like,
A
you
lady
sound
in
like
the
a
ball
rapist.
sack?
She was in the penis.
Oh, okay.
So
That is power.
yeah.
I don't get the metaphor, I don't think.
No, me
Well, I
neither.
guess the lady makes it move.
Well, I just think like the lady's all tiny and the penis is big.
Oh,
I think
okay.
maybe
I was thinking like the woman was literally inside of a big penis.
she's like a little figure drawn in the big penis picture.
Okay, I was thinking like you were saying like the woman was drawn inside of a big penis. And I thought that's a really weird art.
No, I think it was very much like, bitches are tiny and dicks and the men attached to them are big and powerful and awesome.
I get what you're saying now. Like the Washington Monument.
He was misogynist, which is pretty unusual in our society, but
Yeah, it's rare.
yeah, he was rocking that attitude. And he started calling himself Yogi-Bhajan because nothing's cooler than a self-given nickname.
So true.
So the form of kundalini yoga that he talked about in also, I'm sorry, this is the lamest branding. He called it 3HO. So 3HO is a nonprofit that he founded in 1969, which when sketchy organizations start nonprofits, it's generally just to like steal and funnel money. And 3HO stands for healthy, happy, holy. Isn't that cute?
Oh, healthy, happy,
Aw,
holy.
who doesn't want to be all those? Right?
I know I do.
I know. He took from Sikhism and Buddhism and Hinduism and kind of gave them a little new age flavor, as popular Western yoga gurus often like to do.
Just good marketing.
I mean, that's the thing. Like he was a good con person.
Mm-hmm.
He also used tantric yoga, which is a type of yoga that's like a partner yoga. Can you
Yeah,
do
like
it
a
by
sexy
yourself?
sort of thing.
It's the sexy yoga. It's a lot of eye contact and breathing. It would make me incredibly fucking uncomfortable because I hate prolonged eye contact with a deep hatred. Like, can you look the fuck away from me? Stop trying to dig into my soul, you freak. Wouldn't work for me. But also, remember, this is LA. It's the late 60s. Everybody's like, fuck the system. Let's do drugs and fuck. So people were like into this. And the Beatles were like, hey, get a guru. So it's perfect. It's perfect. It's a perfect storm, you know?
Yeah, LA is a very fad place, so makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So he claimed that he was celibate. Don't they fucking all? But rumors of his fucking being a sexual predator had been going around for years, especially that he was kind of creating almost like a harem out of his mostly female staff.
Oh,
They
no.
would travel with him and attend to his needs, which I'm sure he had many of.
His serpent needs.
His serpent power needs, yeah. And they were devoted to him as if he was God and didn't really have lives or families of their own outside from catering to him. And it's estimated that he assaulted over 100 million. What? That'd be a lot.
100 million?
Jesus, that's damn.
That's so fucked up.
That'd be wild. Still super insanely fucked up. Over 100 women, like serial rapist. And, you know, with that kind of thing, the number is always so much fucking higher than whatever it is on paper.
Yeah, there's no way that they uncover every single one.
No, so many people will take years and years and years to come forward, or they'll never come forward, either because they're ashamed or afraid, or because trauma has a really good way of blocking things out and being like, that didn't happen. And you're like, okay, I'm going to go with that version because I need to cope with life. It's crazy. The brain is wild.
Agreed.
He encouraged, aka forced his followers to be vegetarian, but he loved to collect things like animal furs and ivory, just super ethical stuff.
That's kind of weird. So he was also vegetarian, but he just liked to have that stuff?
Was he a vegetarian, or was he having a little fucking bacon on the side?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't trust fucking anything about this guy.
Yeah, that's true. I just didn't know if it was something where he's like, I can have it and you can't, which I'm sure that's probably what it is.
Well, that's cult leaders with most things to their followers. I can have this and you can't.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, he was very fucking well regarded in politics, which is insane. Probably because he had a lot of money. Because, like I said, he was a really good businessman. He had the Siri Singh Sahib Corporation, which included Yogi Tea and a security firm called Akal Security, which is the biggest judicial security contractor in the U.S.
Really? No, I had no idea about that.
Clients include the Department of Homeland Security, Department of Justice, and the Department of Defense.
Wow. That and tea. Two very different companies to run.
Yeah, but both making bank.
Yes.
Is wild stuff.
Jeez.
And like a true hypocrite, and very much so like our buddy Bhagwan, he preached a spiritual life, yet hoarded millions of dollars and tons of like fancy jewelry and luxury cars. Also, I could say that he has that in common with a lot of evangelical pastors.
Exactly what I was thinking. Yep.
I feel a pattern. Do you smell that, Trevin?
I was just going to say it's the American way.
You know what? Prosperity gospel, my friends. If you are blessed and rich, it's because God is shining on you. And if you're poor, it's because you're a piece of dirt and a sinner and you need to do better.
Yeah. In that sense, the prosperity gospel in my mind has always just been God is money.
Have you ever watched that show, The Righteous Gemstones?
Yes.
On Max?
I haven't watched the newest season, but I've watched the first 2, 3.
I want it to be so much better than it is because I feel like it has such good potential, but it just didn't keep my attention. But Adam Devine in it, fucking pretending to be a homie from, the one who was like buddies with Hillsong, Justin Bieber.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Carl Lentz, the cool, hip, young, fucking hipster pastor who actually wears the same kind of fucking like fake Jeffrey Dahmer glasses as Guru-Jagat, the later hipster leader of Kundalini, and Gwyneth Paltrow when she was at a fucking trial for accidentally, for sure, but killing somebody.
What's up with those glasses? Like, how have they not gone away?
I don't know. Also, she sucks. Goop is a cult.
Have you done a Goop episode? Or are you waiting? Gotta get worse?
We have a Goop episode in our future.
Okay.
In January of 2020, his legacy was just completely fucked, like I said, by that book that came out and just exposed a shit ton. Up until then, there had been whispers, but he had just been like, fucking doing his thing and having everybody think he was super cool for his whole fucking life. I mean, he got away with it.
So the book is what broke it? It broke the news?
The book, yeah.
Okay.
So in 2020, this just fucking brought this shit out. Super, super nice. Also, this has now been publicized as video footage on YouTube that I watched, and it was highly disturbing. He said, "Rape is always invited. A person who is raped is always providing subconsciously the environments and the arrangements."
That is, I don't even know how to explain, like, what to say to that. That's so...
Literally, what do you say to that?
What prompted you to say this quote, It's like, hey, what do you want for dinner tonight? And he's like, rape is, like, why are you telling people this? Like, I guess it was probably just probably one of his like passages or something that he told his people.
It was during a lecture.
Oh, okay.
He was like, a lot of people have asked about this and I've never talked about it, but you know what? Hold on. I'm going to play it to you real quick.
There's a last point which I want to discuss with you. It is about rape. I have heard a lot of different versions. And some people have asked me a lot of questions, and I never answered that. Today I want to talk to you about it. First of all, nobody can be raped until you do not invite it. Rape is always invited, it never happens. A person who's raped is always providing subconsciously the environments and the arrangements. If you do not provide the circumstances and the arrangements, it is impossible.
Wow. Okay. That's even worse than what I was thinking. Like, just why are you preaching this to people?
Yeah, so that's just kind of like a peek into who this guy was when he was just preaching all like, oh, love and light and travel light, live light, spread the light, be the light. Yet he's, raping and whatnot. As for battering, he said in 89, quote, but the funny part of it is, because it's always funny, there are some women who get stimulated by being beaten. 20% of women get abused and it stimulates them. And 30% of women are those who provoke violence and like to enjoy it.
Yeah, that's not an idea you want to plant in other people's heads.
You know, I also saw a clip this morning that my friend sent me. It was from this pastor named Josh Howerton, who I guess preaches at a mega church in Texas. And he's like, ladies, acting like he's a fucking stand-up comedian.
They're starting to be more and more like that lately, I feel like.
Like the audience starts laughing. Ladies, all right, on his wedding night, he's been planning this his whole life, okay? Roarous laughter. Listen, you got to stand where he says to stand, wear what he says to wear, and do what he says to do. Again, met with raucous laughter. I think that's the right word. Raucous? I don't know. Whatever. It sounds good. And, cheers and applause and agreements. And yeah, raper on your wedding night. It's not her night. It's his night. Yay. I just feel like rape culture permeates cult culture.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, they definitely, if there's like a Venn diagram, they definitely overlap a lot.
Like I could be at a fucking yoga retreat or like a goddamn evangelical retreat. And if I get raped, they're going to be like, bitch, that was your fault. So
yeah, why did you invite it?
Yeah, you guys just be careful with what groups you join up with, because the thing is, unless you Google Kundalini cult or like Kundalini bad, some shit,
or even like Yogi tea, don't trust.
It's not like all the cult stuff comes up. You have to go looking for it.
Well, with all the money he has, it's probably banished to like the 10th page of Google too.
Oh my gosh. Is that how people keep their shit off the first page?
Oh,
the
yeah.
Bad stuff?
Yeah, either that or, he could always help boost the SEO of other things similar.
Well, here's what we've got on the first page. Wikipedia, always. Healthline.com. Benefits, poses, and steps for beginners. Kundalini. Then there's the 3HO page. Then there is actually one that says Kundalini Yoga, why is it dangerous?
That sounds more like the breathing technique's dangerous.
Somebody's saying it's dangerous because it's so fucking potent. Okay, so there we go. Yoga Journal, a beginner's guide to Kundalini Yoga. This was published in 2021 after all of the allegations came out. Fucking, quote, journalists should do better fucking research, first of all. Second of all, I mean, that's crazy. I didn't think about the fact that they could kind of like pay, because I was looking for P. Diddy and the fact that all his houses got raided recently. This shit was fucking hard to find. I'm not even kidding. I was like, how?
Yeah.
P. Diddy's a fucking diddler, you guys, like a trafficker. It's allegedly. Okay. God. Anyways, in 2004, his business enterprises, including the tea company and the security company, they were generating hundreds of millions of dollars. This fuck was rolling in it. He died in 2004 at the age of 75. He, before his death, was diabetic. He was in a wheelchair and had heart disease.
Oh, wow.
which sounds kind of weird to me. I don't know if you're living such this like pure healthy lifestyle. You have literal lifestyle diseases, right?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking like you see those yoga guru type people and they usually get really, really old and yeah, you don't really see them sick and struggling.
I do want to say that I think maybe what I just said might have been a little bit controversial because according to Surveyor.com, type 2 diabetes is said to be in some ways a lifestyle disease. I do understand that not everybody develops diabetes because of poor lifestyle choices.
I mean, I still think that for what did you said he had like 3 different things. It still seems like something that usually these yoga people are usually so healthy that you just don't see them go through that, I feel like.
So it looks like, for the most part, kind of diabetes can be prevented or delayed by maintaining a healthy lifestyle, but I'm not claiming to be a fucking expert. I'm sure some of it is genetic, so you guys please don't quote me or judge me for not knowing everything about diabetes because I don't have it all in my notes right here. I'm just saying it's a little sus. If this motherfucker was just like vegetarian and fucking doing yoga every day and stuff, like generally that kind of leads to, I'm sorry, 3OH, happy, healthy, holy.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, I'm going to get off it.
But it doesn't sound like he's all that holy either, really.
Also, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to go right back to prior to his death. Something that really, really needs to be talked about is that besides all of these women that he was abusing tons of children with this thing called distance therapy. He would swap children with other families. He would send them to like, quote, specialty schools. And he would often send them to these boarding schools in India. And Jesus fucking Christ, I thought this was kind of funny because it comes up with every goddamn episode that I do with you. The children were subjected to corporal punishment, isolation, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, and neglect. And doesn't that kind of sound like the troubled teen industry facilities that I've told you so much about?
Yeah, it does kind of sound like that. Was he trying to jump into that business too, you think?
No, not at all. I just thought it was kind of interesting because every time I talk to you, I bring up the troubled teen industry. And then to see that he was sending children away to schools in different countries where all of these things were happening to them.
Mm-hmm.
And he was, accused of child molestation. So I'm guessing that some of the sexual abuse that these children were subjected to was by him.
Oh, I feel good about that guess as well. Yeah.
I feel okay about saying that, Come at me, Yogi-bhajan. Wait, you can't. You're dead, you stupid fuck. Regardless of him being a terrible fucking person, the obituary in the New York Times called him a boss of worlds spiritual and capitalistic.
Oh my.
He was posthumously recognized by the U.S. Congress, and they also named I'm not really sure why in New Mexico. I didn't figure out what the possible connection was. Maybe it's like where the head of one of his businesses was or something. Mm-hmm. But there's a Yogi-bhajan Memorial Highway in New Mexico.
Oh.
So he's still being like regarded as an awesome dude and being memorialized with highways and shit.
Well, he made a lot of money.
He made a lot of money.
That's how it works in America. If you make money, that makes you a great person.
They love money. They're like, you have money, you can be on our club.
Yeah, are you going to like maybe throw us a coin here and there? Okay, we'll name a highway after you. Oh, we'll make sure that everything bad about you is banished to the last page of Google.
Really? Yeah.
You'll get a great write-up in the New York Times when you die.
Yeah, those are... I like to think that the New York Times is one of the more reputable resources, but don't trust anybody, you guys. Do your own independent research. I don't even know how, honestly, because I think, oh, this one's good. And then, listen, I'm not trying to say like, don't trust all media because then we're getting like very Donald Trump right-wing fake news. I'm just saying like, look into what sources you are trusting. Don't watch Fox. I think the BBC is pretty good. I like the BBC. Who are they owned by? Probably the public, I would guess.
I don't know too much about BBC stuff.
Come on. Now, we're going to talk about guru-jagat. Jagat? You know what? Jagat. That's it.
Not as catchy as the first guy.
I was like, you know what? I just fucking hate her, so I kind of don't care. So now we've got fucking Katie Griggs, aka Guru-Jagat, who was born in 1979 in Fort Collins, Colorado. Hey.
Ho.
That's in the same state as me.
Yeah. Maybe you brushed shoulders at one point. Well, I guess she would have already made it at this point.
I don't think so. I just feel like a lot of weird cults come out of Colorado. You have like Love Has Won. Hello, bitch. We talked about that together.
Yeah, we did. One of my faves.
Love Has Won with Amy Carlson. Why can't I think of any others after I just said, oh, so many?
Amy Carlson and Katie Griggs. They sound like they would have been like best friends.
In high school when they were on the fucking cheer squad together. Yeah, it's so weird.
Maybe there'll be a weird prequel TV show.
What Amy Carlson and I'm going to call this fucking chick Katie because that's her name. And I don't think she was a guru. She was a self-proclaimed guru and a bunch of people thought she was.
You keep saying was. Did she die too?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Like really young.
Yeah, I was going to say, I just figured she would still be alive.
Well, you would think because she was young, but no, spoilies, she's dead. So she had been practicing Kundalini and was like, this is my jam. And she said in an interview, quote, for $40, you could buy a spiritual name, a mashup of Punjabi names and religious terms through 3ho.com, Bhajan's legacy company.
She just explained the formula of how they come up with the names. I could just do that myself.
Well, hello? No, but I think what's special, which I guess I don't know, can you still do it? But at the time before he died, she got her name directly from Yogi-Bhajan. So I think that apparently he and not a random word generator would give people their names for $40 on his website.
Yikes.
I don't know. That sounds fucking sketch to me. Hold on. Let me see if I can get a name.
What was it? Punjabi word mixed with...
Dude, yeah, it was totally some fucking formula. It was a mashup of Punjabi names and religious terms.
There you go.
You guys, you can still go to spiritual-names.org to receive a name. It says on the website, quote, the naming tradition has its roots in ancient culture where historically a priest, tribesman, or holy one would meditate upon the person's soul to determine their spiritual name. When Yogi-Bhajan brought Kundalini Yoga to the West, he commonly gifted people spiritual names.
What an easy gift to give. It's free.
You guys, you can request a spiritual name right here on the website. It looks free too, but no.
Oh.
You can make a contribution of any size. It just has to be a size of $50 or more.
Of any size, as long as it's over 50. When I was a kid growing up, my mom never wanted to spend that much money on us. So she would say, oh, for dinner, I'll take you to McDonald's and you can have anything you want as long as it's on the dollar menu. Reminds me of that. Makes me think of that.
You're like, cool. I mean, still cool, but...
Yeah, any size of donation, as long as it's 50 or more.
As long as it's $50 or more, which we would also accept. Katie, so she got her name, which is, the destiny in their spiritual lineage that started in 1968 and not in any sort of ancient times. And she started doing Kundalini. She stopped drinking. I don't know if she was like a heavy drinker, if she just was like, drinking is no good. Probably. I don't know. I think it would maybe fuck with your spirituality if you're like drinking all the time and trying to lead a movement. So,
Hey, I don't know. When we talked about Love Is One, that wasn't how it worked. Leading a movement and drinking all the time.
That's true. Oh, what I was going to say is what they really have in common is this wellness-to-QAnon pipeline, which I'll talk about.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about this. Yes.
Shortly. Okay, so she actually learned from Bhajan in New Mexico. So I'm guessing he has like a fucking center there or did or something. He himself encouraged her to share her teachings with the Western world, according to her. She said that he named her, instructed her to move to LA, and told her to start Ra Ma Institute. which is what she did in 2013. She founded the first Rama Institute for Applied Yogic Science and Technology.
Wait a minute. Is that spelled like ramen?
No, R-A space M-A.
Oh, okay. I thought you were maybe giving a soft in there. I've seen ramen stuff around here, so I didn't. Not food places, but never mind.
So I think this is a really fun and interesting story. But there's also another one that she doesn't talk about so much. So she had a 70-something-year-old white dude named Harijwan. Guessing he gave that name to himself as well.
Best kind of nicknames.
And she said that this was her greatest living spiritual teacher. Best kind of nicknames. Nice call that. You guys, my name is Sauce McGee because I'm saucy.
Ooh.
Sauce McGee. What's yours?
I like it. Mine is Stank Tango Man.
Stank Tango Man and Sauce McGee in the house. Yeah. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. So, according to people who had been associates and employees and whatnot before her death, he had been looking for a young, pretty, charismatic person with a vagina who would bring boys to the yard with her milkshake, right?
Oh.
He wanted to start a studio, but he was like, I'm old and white. Nobody gives a fuck. Also, I'm a convicted felon for mail and tax fraud.
Well, that doesn't hurt you in this town. Come on.
Really, though? I mean, I think he should have been fine. But he was like, you're what's up.
You are the look.
You're the look. You are the brand that we're going for. As if he was putting together like a girl band or something. Yeah. You know, she was like an industry plant. So she amassed quite a list of celebrity followers, such as Alicia Keys, Demi Moore, Christy Turlington, and sexual assaulter Russell Brand.
Oh.
You guys, that guy fucking blows. And it's really disappointing because Forgetting Sarah Marshall has historically been like my favorite funny movie. And most of the cast licks absolute balls. As far as I know, Jason Segel is still a baby angel. And Jason, if I find anything out, I'm going to be fucking pissed. But Jonah Hill is a controlling piece of shit. Mila Kunis is a rapist apologist. Who else is in that shit? I think Kristen Stewart. I think she's all right.
I think she's still good, yeah.
I think she's okay. Yeah, I like her. No, Kristen Bell. Kristen Stewart's the Twilight girl.
Kristen Bell.
No, Kristen Bell's cool. Who else is in that shit?
I'm having the hardest time remembering that movie. I only watched it in theaters once, and I cannot remember that much about it. I mean, I remember Smoke a Jeffrey and Stroke the Fuzzy Wall. I remember it. I just can't remember
it's so
that
good.
much about it outside of a couple of key parts.
It's so good. You have to watch it, except for, I mean, whatever. But Russell Brand, Jonah Hill, and Mila Kunis all suck tits. Like, not in a cool way. And it's disappointing because now kind of fucking ruined it for me. Oh,
yeah.
Also, I love him. Paul Rudd is in it too. And Paul, if I find out anything about you too, oh my God, I just know for sure that we can definitely not ever have nice things.
It would rock my town if he went and did something like that because he's a Kansas City guy. So he's a really big celebrity here.
Paul, you better not disappoint me and the people of Kansas, okay? It's a lot riding on you to keep being a cool dude. So
please.
This wellness-to-QAnon pipeline is really interesting. It is definitely what Amy Carlson was doing. It's definitely what Katie Griggs was doing. So how it kind of happens is, so the Venn diagram here is doing your own research and finding your own truth. Like, they're not looking for the same shit. One group is talking about vaccines and the other group is talking about crystals. But then that's the thing is the crystal people, they're also talking about the vaccines, like the QAnon people, right?
Yeah, they find that little bit of overlap and it's almost like a gateway. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's all about, and you guys, I mean, I don't trust the fucking government either. Always question it, but they're like, Joe, you can't trust the government. You can't trust modern Western medicine. I love modern Western medicine. Also, I think there's amazing things in Eastern and more holistic health, but I love medication. It saves lives mentally and physically. So yeah, it's a very interesting fucking crossover. And you hear her saying a lot of problematic things, because not only was Katie a guru, but she was a podcaster, an author. She had a record label and a clothing brand.
Oh my God. So see, another person who's just big on making a lot of money with a bunch of wonky different businesses.
I'm sorry, can we not say hashtag boss babe energy? She is out there fucking, I'm sorry, slay queen. That's like the weird energy that happens on TikTok. There's like these terrible, horrible, awful people. And everybody's like, yay, get it, girl. Oh my gosh, I love it. Again, that's a different episode. Anyways, stupid ass name. Her podcast was called Reality Riffing with Guru-Jagat.
Oh my gosh, I gotta check.
This fucking cunt had a higher rating than me, which is irritating.
Oh, so you already did that.
She had a 4.7. I have a 4.6.
What was it called? What riffing? Reality riffing?
Reality riffing. Yeah.
It has a listener score of 47 on Listen Notes and is in the top 1%.
Because, like you said, it's on the 10th page of Google. She had really controversial guests, such as David Icke, who is a famous Holocaust denier, amongst many other conspiracy theories that he was espousing. And she said, quote, his popularity has grown massively. And part of the reason is because a lot of the things he's been saying for the past 20 years are coming true. So he's talked about the Holocaust not being real, reptilians, which, listen, I can't 100% confirm or deny the existence of reptilians. I keep my mind open as far as that shit. But I'm not down with Holocaust deniers.
Yeah, that's not cool.
So her even giving him a platform to speak and being like, people are just so dumb and they like don't get it. Also, she had someone on who claimed that COVID-19 is activated by 5G.
Oh, the 5G thing. I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah. She also talked to a right-wing rapper named Young Pharaoh. Dope name.
I thought you were going to say Young Pharaoh, and that sounded would be a cool rapper name.
I actually fucking get this because I talk about the Bible so much. I realize I've done 14 Bible episodes now. It's literally been over a year that I've been learning about the Bible. It's hilarious. Patreon.com. Oh my God, you guys are here. I forget. You guys Bible.
You guys Bible.
Okay, so Young Pharaoh was dropped from a conservative political action conference speaker lineup that he was a part of for anti-Semitic tweets. So Pharaoh was like super into enslaving and not being nice to the Egyptians. No, to the Israelites.
Oh, yeah.
So his name is Young Pharaoh and he's tweeting out anti-Semitic things.
Oh, that's kind of interesting.
The connection? Huh. Yeah. Gross. She wrote a book called Invincible Living, The Power of Yoga, The Energy of Breath, and Other Tools for a Radiant Life. And this made her a bestseller in the US, France, Germany, and Russia.
The energy of breath. It's quite a little phrase there.
It's got drama. It's got pizzazz. Also, she's giving Teal Swan vibes, kind of like fashion guru.
Mm-hmm.
Like spiritual, but also into fashion because you can be both things.
Yeah, who says spirituality has to be boring?
Right.
We can make it trendy.
Yeah. Is Teal Swan the one who coined the spiritual gangster thing?
I don't know. It looks like somebody made a business off of it now, so I'm not seeing...
I don't know. Fuck it. Move on. She just definitely was putting cheeky little spiritual sayings and whatnot onto booty shorts, you know, so. Who says you can't be spiritual and hot? You guys get it together. Oh my God. I fucking hate her. I hate her so much. She also was a fashion brand owner. She had the Guru-Jagat collection, which debuted at Paris Fashion Week in 2019 to a ton of praise. She also made a lifestyle brand, you know, not strictly for the runway, for poor people like us.
For the target crowd.
Called Robotic Disaster.
What in the fuck? Robotic Disaster? The energy of breath. Robotic Disaster. It's
all just like word salad that's supposed to sound cool, you know? Also, I looked... not cute. Are you surprised?
Oh, the clothing?
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't think you would either.
I'm not that fashion forward, but probably still not. Man, that is just crazy to me. So yeah, they're these guru people, but they also just have so much variety in businesses. Like in that Newsweek thing where it said he was a master of capitalism or whatever. Like he was
a master of spirituality and capitalism or some shit like that. I don't understand, but I mean, it is culturally accepted because of the gospel prosperity and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
It just blows my mind that those things can go hand in hand according to people. I'm not saying that if you're a spiritual person or a spiritual leader that you should live in fucking poverty, but you don't need private jets and 96 Rolls Royces in the case of
She had
Osho.
96?
Fucking, not this motherfucker. Bhagwan, Sri Rajneesh had 96 Rolls Royces. He was known as the Rolls Royce guru.
That is so stupid.
Meanwhile, his, people are living in fucking huts and slave laboring like all day long. Anyways, it's crazy.
When you're that holy, the Lord wants you to have 96 Rolls Royces. I don't make the rules. That's just what he wants.
That's what he wants for you, okay? I'm just following orders. Her record label was created to make music that would, quote, blow your ears into the next dimension.
Oh my God. I really thought you were going to say blow your tits off. I really wish that's what you would have said. Okay, blow your ears into the next dimension. Yeah. They're so cheesy, these yoga people. Like all the words they use, it is just like word salad, and they use a lot of the same phrases.
Mm-hmm.
And it always has to be like on some sort of astral plane in some way. Like it's going to blow your ears. You couldn't just say blow your ears away. You got to say into another dimension.
Yeah, because it's so extra. Like, settle down.
The words they speak are branded.
Also, have you Googled a picture of her yet?
I have. Actually, I did just a bit ago.
You see this fucking hipster bitch? This is crazy, right? She's
I can
leading
see why he
whole
picked her.
spiritual movement. I'm not sure of the exact stats today, but as of a few years ago, Kundalini still had like 45,000 followers. And they used classes and teacher trainings as a recruitment tool. So if you guys know anybody who's all super excited because they're going to do a Kundalini yoga teacher training, and that doesn't ring in the alarm bells because all you hear is yoga, and then you move on with your day, and then you hear this episode and you go, holy fuck. Go tell Sarah or Jack or who the fuck ever that they're about to start a cult. Dude, even if they can't get a refund, like, don't go, because this is a dark cult. Katie was kind of really popular because she was just like this walking contradiction. She would wear these like white flowy clothes and look all fucking saintly with her turban, chanting in Sanskrit. But she would also talk a lot about sex and fashion. So she was actually like way more covert in Teal Swan in that way, because Teal Swan like wears stilettos and shit because she's like, I'm hot. Oh, you guys didn't get to see the move I just did, but it was sexy, or my version, which is, it's what I was trying.
You really got into character with it, so.
I feel like I just did the move from
That made me think of Bring It On.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking of, because I literally just saw I said, what? It's cold. No, not that one.
There
when
must
they do
be some clovers in the atmosphere.
Not that one. When the fucking other team, they clap back with a way better dance. Anyways, you guys, I need to rewatch that shit. If you've never seen Bring It On, get your life together. Also, Romy and Michelle's high school reunion has a sequel coming out, you guys. Oh my God.
Oh, I didn't see that.
So rewatch that. Oh my God, Trevin, do it.
I didn't know there was another one coming. Wow.
Your wife, I always forget her name, but she'll love it. Emily will love it. She's probably seen it.
Actually, she has not. She was homeschooled as a kid, so she didn't get a lot of that. So talk about cults.
Well, then you guys both missed out, and now you could enjoy it together. So, she was edgy. She told people, her students, that if you want to look rich, what's wrong with that? That's fucking chill. If you want to look good, what's wrong with that? I think a lot of other teachers would say because like that's being in your ego or something, but I don't know. I'm not a fucking
Which is so not a yoga.
master.
Yeah, not a yoga thing to do.
I feel like it's not, right?
Yeah.
Bitch, this is what I'm saying. She just used so many like little word salad fucking catchphrases or buzzwords. Like she would talk about deconstructing your inner patriarchy.
I don't want a patriarchy in me.
I know, right? You better pay her to go to the class, or the yogic science of sex. And then she would do meditations for manifesting prosperity, wealth and money, because that's what's up, I guess. Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, Business of Fashion, LA Times, Women's Health, LA Mag. They all loved her.
Of
They're
course.
like, this bitch is being a boss babe in a patriarchal world. Listen, you guys, it is a patriarchal world. I get patriarchal. I don't know. Whatever. But burn it. Let's take it down. But not by
having one inside you first. Unless I'm eating it. If I'm eating the patriarchy.
Unfortunately, I think many of my listeners have had the patriarchy inside. And sadly, with all of these abortion bans, the patriarchy is just going to get more and more up in us. So
Yeah.
good times. Under his eye, you guys, it's here. So obviously, this bitch had some dark sides. She defended an employee who called Black Lives Matter protesters cockroaches. She said things in their company-wide WhatsApp like, fuck you all, I will wring your necks.
That's the people that follow her, and she said that to them?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's
this
just
is
not
like
nice.
the inner circle who generally they get the most abuse.
That's true.
It's like the higher up you get, the worse you get treated. Although it does say, let me correct, quote, I will wring sick, which I don't know what that means, your figurative necks. So sorry, I will wring your figurative neck. What?
I don't know.
Former members have said that the Rama Yoga Institute is manipulative, cultish, and abusive. It demands a culture of extreme devotion, which it also did when Yogi-Bhajan was around. And Katie, this amazing thought leader, Katie, also demanded that, every minute of every fucking day was devoted to her, essentially. She's God,
Yeah, kind of a love is one sort of a thing.
And super classic in cults, control over what people were eating, when they were sleeping, how much, who they were seeing, just control over behavior, information, thoughts, and emotions, which checks off every bit of the BITE model by Stephen Hassan, who is a cult expert. So according to Jacqueline Gelb, who was a certified Kundalini instructor and devotee of Katie, said that, quote, if you're doing it the way it's meant to be done, you're in a constant state of sleep deprivation, overwork, and overwhelm, so that the practice itself becomes your saving grace. It's a system perfectly designed to pull you all the way in and block out the rest of the world.
That is a very good quote. And it's like she's saying it without saying cult.
Yeah. Also, I literally was just doing a little bit of on-the-fly research and found out that Katie actually followed, guess who, for a little bit first?
Oh, old 48?
Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh, Osho.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Donald Trump.
No, I mean, probably. I'm sure she was a fan. But before she started getting into Kundalini, she was a follower of Osho, which was just a rebrand of Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh, the fucking Rolls Royce motherfucker I keep talking about. So isn't that funny that she just got attracted to the same kind of cult leader and then became that fucking cult leader? That is wild.
I mean, when you see how much money he got, if you're a person who's just after that material wealth and the power. I'm not saying I'm into it, but I'm just saying I can see how those kind of people see that. And even probably going through the shitty things that the first guy did probably was still just like, if I pay my dues, I might be able to do this myself.
Yeah.
And that's really weird and scary.
Oh, yeah. She said that if you spent more time than 72 hours with your family, it will cause you to spiritually regress to a 7-year-old. So it's like, again, more super common cult tactics is trying to convince people that their families of origin are like insanely destructive, which, not gonna lie, I mean, like, I think but it's just very common to get you away from any systems of support or maybe potential sources of worry or reason or logic out of your life. Employees of hers said that she was a fucking nightmare, just constantly screaming at people and blaming them, making them feel fucking worthless and just useless failures. And she was born on August 30th, 1979 and died on August 1st, 2021. So she was 42 years old.
What did they say what she died from?
Well, I'm about to tell you. The official story that the Rama Institute said, and it actually did end up being the truth, although rumors of drugs and suicide and COVID-19 had circulated. She died of a pulmonary embolism after an ankle surgery.
Whoa, that's random.
Pretty crazy. She did fly shortly after the surgery, and you're told not to fly after flights because you could get blood clots. You're told not to fly after surgeries, I mean. Maybe not all surgeries. I don't know, you guys. I'm not a fucking doctor. But I did see somewhere that they were like, that could have led to that. So she did board a flight to LA, and that's thought to possibly have contributed to the embolism that killed her.
Wow.
She was 42 when she died, and Kundalini is like still being taught and it's up and running. Honestly, I'm not really sure who is kind of like running the show now. Accusations of abuse by Yogi-Bhajan became super well known, and many denounced him, and they tried to kind of like wash him out of the history of Kundalini, even though he made it up, which I think is pretty funny.
Wow, that is kind of funny.
And Katie was a rapist apologist who defended him, discrediting his former secretary and saying, quote, "This tale is no truer than any other tale. The truth, as always, lies in the eye of the beholder." You know, Yogi-Bhajan did say, it's your fault if you get raped. So,
oh, I see. Yeah.
She was probably like, he said that. So sorry, but that was your fault. The Rama Institute for Applied Yogic Science and Technology in Santa Monica is still open, and you can find information on their homepage. And for the low, low price of $19 a month, because let's keep monetizing this shit, you get access to recorded videos of Katie, where you can see her just spreading her COVID wisdom.
She probably has so much to spread.
Honestly, like, there could have been more, but that was the nuts and bolts. How wild was that?
I still can't get past the money and just like what all the different things they had their hands in as far as big companies. Like when you said security and Yogi Tea and all that. I mean, obviously I'm on this show, so these people are going to suck. But just to have seen that how powerful they were on the money side of things, and like probably had very powerful friends.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess you said hanging out with Bill Clinton and stuff. So yeah.
Presidents revered him. He was very well respected as like a religious leader. # blame the Beatles.
# blame the Beatles.
But yeah, you guys don't go to any Kundalini yoga classes. Actually, it's kind of funny because I love yoga and I love a lot of like Eastern practices, but I am weary because I have been to Kundalini yoga classes and I have been to weird like Sanskrit chanting circles where after a few meetings they were like, you know, there's only one truth, right? So like I have to be careful around yoga. So I'm just telling you guys, you know, like be careful too. And you get invited to the meditation meetup after. But Kundalini yoga is definitely a cult. So don't go awaken your powerful serpent, you guys. It's not worth it.
Yeah, the serpent stays in the cage, y'all.
And don't be like Bhajan or Katie, because they both sucked a lot.
And spent too much money.
This is greedy. I think it's such a good example of how yoga and Eastern spirituality and holistic practices and stuff have been like westernized and commodified here. It's called New Age spirituality, y'all. If you're subscribed to Gaia, or you fucking are on, I don't know, whatever. I used to watch their shit. They promote Teal Swan. So look, a lot of these fucking like new age spiritual kind of like companies or representatives are super fucking culty, or they're promoting culty shit because they don't realize that it's culty. Like I said, there's so much stuff that unless I put fucking cult afterwards when I Google it, it comes up fucking sunshine.
Yeah.
So
what happens when you got powerful people doing it.
So that's that, you guys. Yes. Wow. What a wild ride.
I won't be doing yoga anytime soon, I'll tell you that. But that's mainly because I'm impatient.
See, I keep thinking I'm going to do yoga because I'm too lazy to do other stuff. And then I'm too lazy to do yoga. So I've been going for some walks outside. That's pretty cool.
Oof. It's worth it. Yeah, I'm so glad. It's like a 75-degree day today. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm taking a walk today.
I was actually going to go for a walk and it was really shitty outside. So enjoy your fucking walk, dude. Go get it. Go get it while it's still hot.
Thank you. It's still hot.
I like it. You guys, again, thank you for being a patron, because if you're listening to this, you are on the Patreon. And if you were a huge fan of Trevin, as I know you were, you can find him on any listening platform at Live Laugh Larceny. You can also find his Instagram. Well, he and Amanda, their Instagram at Live Laugh Larceny. And I believe you can go to livelaughlarceny.com to find the rest.
Oh yeah, I've got a very expensive website. Katie Griggs probably owns it.
Mine doesn't look expensive, but I just got the fucking bill for the year. My goodness.
Yeah, the year's crazy, isn't it?
So, you guys, thanks for listening. Trevin, can you tell me, like, how real that was?
Like, keep it real, or like...
Just say that was real as fuck.
That was real as fuck.
And real fucked up. It's not just yoga, you guys, but, like, you know, yoga's actually cool when it's not a cult. Namaste. Good night and good luck. We love you. Goodbye.
That's so fucked up, that's so fucked up. So fucked up, that's so fucked up.